Hello everyone. I am back after only a few days. That's good. That's good. Probably. We'll run another emoji today because I don't have anything better to do. So this lovely man in the top corner is who we're drawing today, and he's going to be crying over some paperwork, because isn't that what we are all doing? Crying over paperwork. I don't like the green. Red. That's nice. That's better. Which angle? I didn't plan any of this before streaming. I never do. I never plan. I probably should. Planning is apparently important for content creation, and I never bother. So we're going to be drawing a stack of papers and silly guy crying on top of it. And we get to try and draw a circle 20 times. How wonderful. Oh god, wrong pen. Okay. So that's the head. We could do it so he's like looking, or we could do it face down. I like face down though. Maybe we'll put a hand there. Oh, not that. Oh, I never put the timer on. There we go. So I'm just drawing the basic shapes of this messy sketch. Alright. And now we have looks very bloody and messy. And now we can move on to the actual art. Something to be mindful of when you're doing emojis is that these are made, well, I'm making these for Discord, which means they show up extremely small. So when you're drawing, it appears bigger, when in reality, it's very much not. And it's good because it means you don't have to worry about the details as much, because people won't see them. And all you need is a few prominent lines. Again, these are going to be emojis. It does not have to be detailed. Then we'll make a separate layer. And we will move on to a hand. See, I simplify things down with circles, but it's also hard to draw circles. When you're making emojis, you want to go for a more chibi design, because, well, it's an emoji, it's small. I've said this before, everything is small to make things easy to see. Like this, it will be that small, probably. It always looks better on Discord than it does when you do it like that, but the point stands, they are small. I see a lot of people making emojis, and while they are a more chibi style, I still think they are quite heavily detailed for how small they are. And there is nothing wrong with that, of course. I typically fancy emojis where I can clearly see what is happening with them. So if it's an emoji, I can show you the one I drew the other day. For example, I drew this a couple days ago on stream, and you can see I have added some details. Those are to make it look nice, but you can't actually see the individual lines when you're like looking at it as an emoji. You can see the basic outlines and shapes. You can't even see the parts of the squiggle. In fact, the squiggles do look just like that. And I do bold shading because you can't see things very clearly. So that is the kind of style we go for. And you can see what's happening. I find when people do the more complicated emojis, they look amazing when you're looking at them as like just chibi art. But then when you see them on the server, like I cannot tell what the emoji is. And I have to look at the name. And there's nothing wrong with looking at the name of the emoji to find out what it is. But I don't know all of them. And the whole emoji doesn't have to be clearly visible, then you'd get like no detail at all. But it's the basic blocks, the outlines, like the main things have to be clear and distinct. So that is very important. So that's the arm, and we're going to make another layer under both of those for the body and face and hair. Now, do I know exactly how hair strands work? Absolutely not. I in fact barely know. I try and make it look nice, and it usually doesn't. But I try. So I'm trying to just define similar shapes. You do not have to do a lot of this at all. In fact, if you do too much, it will be cluttered. A lot of it again is going to like this size and being like, is the main point clear? And now we've done the basic layout. We can go in. People keep walking into my room. Oh god, the skin tone looks so different. That's crazy. I'm going off of a reference image, and it looks very different. So now we just do basic shapes. And I forgot to do it. Line other. I'll ignore it. When I realise I've missed some detail on the line art on some of these, I genuinely just breeze past it. Because no one's gonna notice there's a line art there. Now we're on to the hardest bit. This character has two-toned hair. I don't have all the lines for two-toned hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just colour the hair in one of the colours and then go over it with an alpha lock to get the two-toned. Which I personally just find easier. A lot of people will just simply fill in the picture, the hair with colour. That's probably the smarter thing to do. I just don't want to. And now I've done that, we're going to lock the layer and grab the second hair colour. And we're going to add this. This is ironically the dominant hair colour, which I've done it the wrong way around. Really, you should do the main hair colour and then the highlights. But it was the one I saw first, so I don't know. These lines are going to be messy, and that's fine. We don't need to make them perfect. That looks about right. It's not gonna be perfect. Blech. You can still see it. Last but least, we just need to get a light colour and colour in these papers. Now with this, I'm going a bit more of a creamy colour. It's barely noticeable, but you can see, actually no, you can't see my colour wheel. It's a bit more of a creamy colour, and that's so it doesn't contrast, that's so it doesn't like blend in too much with the shirt. There's a bit of a difference between the hues, because this shirt is like a proper grey. That's all the basic colours done. And you could definitely leave it here. It won't look very good looking at it up close, but as an emoji, it will be about the same. What I like to do is add a tiny bit of shading. And it is not a lot, like, I'm not shading an empire over here, but it's just a little something. Ah, that's my break alarm. Boo, I don't want to take a break. I'm almost done. Alarm, you can't tell me to break. So a little bit of shading on those papers. If we go to the hair, I will now change and make a new layer and I'll clip to it, just because we already have stuff going on. When you're making a shadow, you ideally want to be going darker but more saturated, and then also more blue, like go more blue in the color wheel. And if you're doing a lighter shade, you want to go lighter, also less saturated, and to the yellow side to mimic sunlight. Obviously that'll change if the color of your lighting is different, like if you have effects going on, but as a general basis, that is how you want to be doing shadows. Obviously, sometimes just to make it quicker, I do a purple shadow and a yellow light and I just put it on overlay and then boom. But I find you can just get better colours by doing it manually. Doesn't really matter. Do it however you want. Hell, I barely know that. I only found out from like other people videos. So who are you to take my word for it? Don't, maybe, actually. I am not to be trusted. I barely know what I'm doing myself. I'm going to leave this a bit sharper so you can hope to see it in the emoji. And I'll grab the lighter colour and I'll do the same process to get the shadow. I want that to be a bit darker. There we go. When I'm doing emojis, and this is a personal choice of course, I don't do light, I only do shadow. I find that when you try and do shadow and light, it can get very like overwhelming. Like again, we're trying to keep this simple for visible emojis. Tiny, tiny, tiny ones. And I find if you do shadow and light with that, you end up just making it look messy and confusing. That's the shirt. And that's the 5-minute break, which I haven't done over. I am also doing shadows on the thingamabobs. I don't know what these articles of clothing are called, but you can't see it very well because it's dark. And last but not least, the skin. Gonna do a bit of shading here with this tone. Just to give it a bit of zoom, just something. Alright. And this is it. We're done. Look at that. 40 minutes. Beautiful. The guy is silly. So, thank you for stopping by. I did something, yeah. Look at me. Doing things on a roll. And I'll see you in a few days, probably.